Whether you keep them in your home or love to see them in theirs, these are the creatures that bring us all together.
Reptiles. We're going to be delving into the experiences of reptile lovers from around the block and around the world. This is the Reptile Talk Podcast.
Boom. What is going on, everybody? This is Jeremy Turgeon from Brassman Reptiles.
And I'm Rob, and I'm creeping it real. What? What's wrong?
I should be used to these intro dances from you by now, but everyone is just different enough to catch me off guard.
It's a little bit different.
It's just a little bit different, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it every week. I'm here for it. Oh man. Well, it's time for another episode, and I'm super stoked. But before we get started, Rob, how are you doing, man? What's new? What's going on in the reptile land by you?
It's breeding season. Actually, it's kind of past breeding season for a lot of stuff, but I've been breeding things, and so I think I'm gonna have some eggs on the ground here shortly, and then I've got some other stuff that looks like it's starting to cycle right now, and then I got other stuff that it's too early for them. So I got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I found my January snake. I don't know if I talked about that on the last episode, but I finally found one snake in the month of January.
Heck yeah.
It was a queen snake, so I'll take it. That's good. Good enough for me. And I have seen a bunch of skinks and anoles and stuff, so like it's not like I don't see reptiles. It's just I always try and find snakes. So that's been nice. And then it's not Arctic outside anymore. There's no snow anymore, so that's perfect.
Thank God. How much snow did you get hit with on that last burst?
We got like maybe inch and a half, bordering on 2 inches in some places, and they were like, "Stay home, don't come to work." And I was like, "Oh, a day off? For me? You shouldn't have." Like, I'm like, I didn't even have to shovel, and I got a day off of work. This is mint.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. So I had a rehearsal down in Charlotte that Tuesday. And here in Statesville, no snow. Like we got zero, like literally zero snow. So I got bamboozled because I'm literally I'm on 77. I'm like, okay, we're good. Maybe it won't start yet. And then by the time I got to like exit like 32-ish, just a wall of snow. And I was like, oh shit. And still went to have that rehearsal. And luckily they only got like about an inch or so. So it wasn't really that bad. But talking to the bass player, he was like, yeah, I was talking to my dad, and my dad was like, are you still going to have that rehearsal? And he's like, I said to my dad, this guy's from Massachusetts. We're still having the rehearsal.
We'll still have the rehearsal, yeah. Yeah.
1 inch of snow, he's not canceling.
Not a damn thing. Although, I don't know if they do it over by you, but over by where I'm at, they don't sand, they don't salt. They have like a little mist that they put on the road, and they're like, that's good enough. And I was like, oh my goodness, what are you guys doing?
They were literally like salting 77 when I was on my way home, like after the snow had already happened. I was like, preparation is not your strong suit here, North Carolina.
Not their strong suit.
But that's
no,
okay.
Not at all. Yeah.
But that's rough. Okay. Oh man, that's funny. But I'm glad you didn't get hit with too much, because I thought that that part of the state was going to get hit a little bit harder. So
me too. I was expecting one of the guys I work with. He's from DC, and he's like, "Man, I just want it to snow. I really just want to see some snow." And I was like, "Don't say that around me. Don't you dare say that to me." Like,
don't wish that bad juju on me, bro.
Yeah, don't wish that bad juju on me. And so he was like telling me, he's like, "Hey man, I heard that we're gonna get like maybe 6 or 7 inches of snow." And I was like, "Shut up! Don't even let that thought enter the ether. I don't want to even consider that is a possibility right now."
Yeah, man. Pass. Hard pass. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. On the bright side, got some stuff happening over here too. Started breeding some things. I got geckos breeding. Hooray.
Okay.
There's a lot of loud noises behind me that happen as crested geckos are trying to figure out their lives, and leopard geckos are freaking out because something else is in the tub that wasn't there before. And then just started pairing up some Amazon tree boas. So after the podcast, me and my trusty flashlight will be going downstairs to see if anybody's doing the do or getting close to doing the do. So I'm here for it. I'm excited. So I put my colubrids down for brumation earlier than normal this year. So I'm bringing them up a little earlier. So they're on the slow warm up. They should be back at full temperature in the next 2 weeks. And then we just start hitting the ground running. So I'm excited about that too. I'm excited to now be able to open those enclosures and not just be like, just do the water and don't look at them because you're going to want to play with them. Yeah. So
yeah, I didn't even think about that. I've got some corns that are I put them down and I've just been like, y'all are good. And so it's just about time to bring them back up. And I know that a couple of those females they're already looking like, hey, I want some food. And I'm like, no, calm down.
Right. Not until it's at least 80 degrees. Hang on.
Not until the ambient temperature in my room gets higher, because in that room it's like I put them like right next to the door, so it's just like a little bit cooler in that area, and I have them at the bottom of the rack. So I was like, you guys need to calm down just a little bit, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Sheesh. I know my MBKs and my Cal Kings, anytime now that it's starting to get a little warmer, whenever I open up that drawer, they're just launching out. They're like, food. And I'm like, no, not yet. Stop.
Not yet.
Please stop. That was my finger. But, but heck yeah, man. Well, before we get any further in the episode, of course, this episode is brought to you by our friends over at Black Box Cages. Go check them out, blackboxcages.com. Go check them out if you need a new cage or a new rack. Go check them out. They've always got awesome stuff going on over there. And I got to get more cages over here very soon.
Yeah, I was looking at some of my raise up scrubs and I'm like, oh boy, I'm going to need enclosure soon. And I was like, how long?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. How much longer do I get to keep this money in my bank account? Oh, okay.
Is it tax time? I think it's about tax time.
Yeah, I'm self-employed. I don't get anything back.
For the amount of money that I paid into taxes last year, I better get some money back. That's all I have to say.
That's quite fair. But all right. Without further ado, I think he's done eating his pasta. I'm looking as he's chugging the last little bit. Right, exactly. I'm super stoked for all of you gecko fanatics out there. You're gonna love this episode. We're talking with Jack Thomson from Gekkotaculture, as he's known. What's up, dude?
How's it going, guys?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Excuse any hiccups that might pop up.
From the fast fast eating. Yeah.
It's a terrible habit.
It's okay. I was literally like, bro, like just eat. It's okay. Like it's gonna be okay. But heck yeah, dude, I'm super happy you could hang out with us tonight. For those people who don't know you or know anything about your story or anything like that, what got you into reptiles to where you're at now?
Definitely like, herping. I was catching, blue bellies and stuff and little alligator lizards and all that since, I could walk. So I guess growing up, having that exposure kind of, got the ball, rolling. And then it was, complaining to the parents that, I needed a leopard gecko and, and then appealing to the grandparents, and that eventually worked. So, and then that kind of snowballed. The parents don't work out, the grandparents will crumble. It's tried and true. But yeah, and then got to college, so I had to part with a lot of the reptiles I was keeping as a youngin. Hit the restart button, got into dart frogs, and then got really big into dart frogs. It was really, really fun. And then an unfortunate heat wave combined with a power outage kind of took care of that. And wrapped that story up for me pretty quick. So I was
Mhm.
obviously really, really bummed about that. Got into fish keeping a little bit, got into, some crested geckos and stuff from working at the local fish and reptile store for a little while. And then I don't know how I got exposed to leaf tails, but I think it was a pair that got brought into the shop that I eventually took home. And then a combination of that, and then I was working with some, around that time I started working for ZoomEd. So we had a pair at the in the facility that we had for a little bit. So I guess getting to work with them too, I don't know, like a switch flipped, and I was like, damn, like this is what I want to keep.
Heck yeah, dude.
That is the best feeling when you get to interact with something. You're like, oh, I'm going down the rabbit hole on this one. These things
And
are
it
so
sucks because
cool.
it was like right off the tail from making a bunch of crested friends and then like spending a bunch of money on crested geckos. And I was like, fuck.
Mhm.
Yep.
Not to
these
shit
are
on that or
way
anything.
cooler.
I still have cresteds and all that, and I really enjoy them, but not to the extent that I used to.
Yeah,
So that's kind
fair.
of
That's fair.
when that change happened.
Yeah. Hey, look,
That's
we're just happy that you saw the light, bro.
You didn't. I heard you teared some stuff up the other day.
Yeah. I know. My whole whopping 2.2 group over here.
It's okay. I found a baby crested in my girlfriend's crested gecko tank the other day, and I realized that it's not in fact over.
Right. Oh man, that's
So we're gonna have.
hilarious.
It's cool though. They're like reds, which are always my favorite. So I'm kind of excited to see how they turn out. There's some red triple X kind of stuff.
Heck yeah,
Cool.
dude.
Haven't said those
That's
words
cool
in a
stuff.
long time.
Yeah, right. All the cresty folks are like, ooh. Oh man, hell yeah, dude. So when it comes to the leaf tail stuff, you've got a bunch. Is there one species that captures your attention more than the
And
others?
why is it Hankli? I'm just saying.
Yep. Honestly, this might throw you guys off. I fucking love the
Now.
lineatus.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
The
dude.
lineatus are like they're the project that I might be like. It's the project that I actually got like a good shot at doing pretty good at, and the one I'm like, okay, I gotta sleuth through some problems, but I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. It's kind of in like that happy zone where it's a challenge, but like I feel like I can put the pieces together. The Peshman Eye are just like, we'll see what happens. I'll throw shit at a wall.
They're so cool, though. That species is so cool. I've heard a while back that the lineatus only live like 5 years or like less than 5 years or something. Is that you find that that's still the conventional wisdom?
I think you get a gold star if you hit 10 years on any Euryplatus.
Yeah.
To get to 10 years, you might really need to treat like nighttime temperature drops and seasonal fluctuations and food cycles like pretty seriously. And then you might want to take some seasons off breeding too. Most of the time they lay duds though. So, I mean, how much are you really saving off that animal? But, I think nowadays it's generally accepted that like a captive bred animal should get at least relatively close to 10 years. I think a large dog age is like,
gotcha.
It's kind of on the same metric as that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That's fair. That's fair. I think that's a good comparison because most people are like 10 years, man, that's nothing. My ball python can be 50 years old. Like,
yeah,
it's like, no,
but
okay, well,
but like, how many people have captive bred animals that have gone that long, at least like that have made the the information like public, I guess.
Available. Where's the sample size?
Yeah, the sample size for that is pretty small. There's definitely people that have gotten them that old and with captive bred animals. Like they've definitely been people that have been doing it for a while, but I just haven't probed them super hard about all that yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, lineatus threw me for a loop. I definitely thought that you were going to say Ebanawi, and I said Hankli just because I like
honestly,
them.
they're all on like the same. I kind of like lineatus because it's almost like a breath of fresh air where I don't have to worry about what the thing looks like. Like they all look the same, but they're like all so dang cool. Like as far as behaviors go, I think they're the most like they seem to be the most active. Like at night, I'll walk in here with like a red light, and they're always cruising and doing laps. And they got a 3-foot enclosure, so they're doing big old laps. It's funny. I have I've been feeding him in like a food dish recently, like a little plastic deli cup. I'll throw all the crickets in just to kind of cut down on how many die like in the substrate and the leaf litter, and it ends up smelling, and then the tent kind of, creates an odor in here. And flies.
If you will.
So to cut down on that, I started doing like the bowls, and that's cut down on the dead crickets that kind of linger in there drastically. And it's funny, I'll come in here around feeding time, and like they're all like perched up, like looking down at like this one zone. The bowl isn't even there, but they're just like
they know.
They know. So they can definitely clue into habits, which is really cool.
That's true. I have a couple of groups of leopard geckos where for the females, they've got a lay box in the back right corner, and I usually put the food dish in the front left corner. And when I'm going through pulling dishes out and cleaning, like I'll find females that are just looking over for that corner for that dish to come back, and you're just like, it's coming. Like, chill out, bro. How do you know this? Like,
it's winter cooling right now, so everybody's like a little extra pissed off at me for not feeding. A whole lot.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's very fair.
I think that the lineatus, like as far as like the generally kept Europlatus, that they look more out of place because they don't quite blend in as well, at least like how we generally keep them. And so they just look like Slenderman in the cage. They're just like, their arms are just like, they just stick out so crazy weird.
They look like spiders. They're pretty unreal.
Yes.
A lot of that, obviously it's like conventionally thought that the lineatus are like bamboo mimics. That's their little niche, which they are. They definitely find them a lot in those bamboo forests, but they find them a lot on other like plant species, like specifically plant species. Like the other Europlatus are like, oh, they're on tree trunks and whatnot, but like these guys hang out like in the plants. They like to hang out in like this tropical ginger. And when the leaves die, they kind of resemble a lineatus like a lot better. They kind of hang out in like the furrows of the dead leaves.
Really?
Same thing with this. It's called the traveler's palm. It looks like I think it's like King Julian's, little thing that's
King Julian.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a traveler's palm, the thing that he wears on his head, or at least it looks like it. I might be tripping right now, but it looks like a bird of paradise plant that's like flattened into like a crown.
Okay.
So when those leaves die, they just they blend right into that. If it's decaying a little bit.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so if you got a bird of paradise plant outside, just chop off a bunch of dead fronds and chuck them in, and honestly, that's the best you can do.
That's wild, huh? Yeah. Is there like a specific prey item that they feed on in comparison to the other species that makes that more that makes that adaptation make a bit more sense in comparison to sitting on tree trunks?
I don't know. I want to say they're pretty. I mean, they'll eat just about anything for me. I don't think they don't strike me as something that would say no to anything moving, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But just like the rest of the Europlatus, like they'll go after snails like crazy if you offer them. Crickets are the usual staple around here. I kind of want to mix in some random roach species, but I gotta find one that I don't have to like be paranoid about letting go. Criteria of that is it kind of narrows it.
Yeah.
No red runners.
I was gonna say so. No red runners. Yeah.
I was thinking about banana
roaches.
roaches because they're like at least pretty and colorful, and I don't mind seeing them in the enclosure. I think that'd be kind of cool, but they like fly and climb glass, so I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's
honestly buy surplus male dubia. They'll be perfect.
Yeah.
That's true.
I figured dubia will probably be where I go and just kind of feed those, kind of just tongue feed those out, not have to worry about throwing them in and leaving them in because they'll probably.
You can even put them in a dish. They can't climb out of dishes, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Absolutely. I just need them to move in the dish, and I remember that being an issue.
That is an issue, 100%.
I kind of figured that I just tongue feed those things anyway, which they tongue feed really well. All this stuff, once you kind of get them settled, they have no problem with feeding off tongs, which is really nice.
Even the Pechmani?
Even the Pechmani, they'll come out. Yeah, they're really cool. So right now in winter dormancy, they're kind of all hanging out in their cork hollows right now, like deep in the cork hollows. Like I only see them in like the middle of the night, like lights have been out for an hour, and then they'll start kind of poking their little heads out of the holes to go do a little lap, and then they go back into the holes. In the summer, it's cool. They're always out on the bark during the summer. In the winter, right now when it's kind of cooled off, and they kind of just hunker down inside the hollows. It seems like. But it's cool though. As soon as I threw in crickets, they're really clued into all that. So yeah, no, it's a cycle with them. I did get a video of like one like running after a cricket up and down like the side of the enclosure, and that's like that's liked. It's in its own folder in my camera roll. It's like
yes,
which one of the rare moments I get to enjoy watching them.
Heck yeah, man.
Watching them do something as opposed to just
right, exactly.
Being nothing.
Yeah. You don't
a
see
really
me.
expensive piece of bark.
You don't see me. Oh man, that's so freaking funny, dude.
And then I wanted to ask you, why are Ebanawi better than Fantasticus?
Oh, let me get. Don't even get me started. Don't even.
Oh
Get me started.
no! Please get started.
No, okay. For all my Fantasticus people out there, this isn't a dig at you guys at all. Like nothing against Fantasticus. They're an awesome species. However,
that's the with all due respect. When you're about to say something very disrespectful.
I mean, like, most people, most random, most everyday people would probably choose a Fantasticus, but there's a lot of merits to Ebanawi. So they come from the northwest part of Madagascar, so it's going to be a little bit warmer and a little bit drier. And those parameters tend to lend itself a lot better to a lot of, terrarium keeping. So you don't. So with the Fantasticus, they come from kind of intermediate to highland rainforest. So where they come from, it's obviously very, very cool. That's like the big thing everybody says. Oh, you got to keep these things cool, but humid as well. And the combination of those things leads to like
it's tough on reptiles
inside of a glass enclosure. You got like mold, bacteria. It's a very hard balance to hit. I think, and I haven't messed with Satanics at all, but I would like to kind of try them out and see how hard they are, because I mean I have friends that do them and they don't don't really fearmonger them super hard. But that seems they seem like a species that's been fearmongered a little bit out of proportion, and then like people seem to overcorrect a little bit from what I can tell, and then that's how a lot of things kind of go downhill. But the Ebanawi, they're great. So they come from a warmer and drier climate, so I'm only spraying them maybe like once a night, once every other night, just to give them drinking water. Obviously the ambient in the room kind of helps with that. But back when I was keeping him in my bedroom, ambient humidity was like 30 to 60 at any given time. So nothing outside the ordinary for most homes. And then the males are super cool. They get like these little spines that go down their backs, like little dragon spikes and stuff. They look like little Pokemon. They're incredible. And yeah, I guess with the Ebanawi, I mean, I'm even keeping them in screen enclosures, just to kind of let them dry out. It's pretty. I've heard it's pretty important. I was told it was pretty important at the start to let them dry out, like let all the surfaces dry out during the day. They need that dry period to kind of reset. Just make sure there's nothing weird going on in there growing. It's an animal that's going to be perching in like the same spot for most of the day. So if it's the way I think about it, if it's sitting on like a damp, like a soggy branch for 12 hours a day while the lights are on, and then, the geckos have the little hairs on their feet. I don't think it's a combination that ends very well. I think that's yes, get Ebanawi, Mason. You need more. You only have one. You need an army.
I think that Ebanawi are cool, but I think that they just need a better PR team, because Fantasticus in the Latin name, and then the satanic leaf-tail gecko, that just like grabs people's attention so great. And then Ebanawi, a lot of people are like, I don't know how to say that. They look at it on written out, and they're like, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Just call them spear points. That's all you need.
Yeah, it's not as catchy. It's not as catchy
Catchy.
as satanic.
You gotta
So
call
like,
it the arrowheaded leaf-tailed gecko or
But
something.
you can
I don't know,
keep
something that
these
would catch
alive.
it.
yeah, true,
right,
true.
right, yeah.
No, they're
Ooh.
awesome. Yeah, I mean, at night did you guys see the photo I posted up last night of that female with its like mouth like all of a microcentimeter above the dirt looking for crickets? It was just posted there.
Bruh.
Like
No, I'm gonna pull that up right now.
it should still be on my story. It gave me a good laugh. The thing was just I was like, I don't know what you're gonna catch doing that, but
She's like isopod springtails.
Oh yes, yeah, literally just like right there.
the nose might have been touching, and it was there for like 7 hours. I came home from work and I saw it like that, and then I went to when the lights are shutting off, I went and checked on it, and it was still just like
Just chilling.
Damn.
That's freaking awesome, dude.
no, but
So I
the colors on Ebanawi too. It seems like there's a lot more consistent veining across the board, which is really nice. Like these really intricate swirls and veins all down the bodies. So there's a lot of merits to the coloration of these things as well. A lot of the fans have some really awesome colors. Ebanawi come in their own kind of batch of unique color combinations and physical traits. So like the veins are actually like slightly raised up, especially the dorsal ones, which is really cool too.
That's
the
cool.
spikes. You don't get the spikes on the satanics the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
The medieval spiny, sharp, tiny dragon gecko. That's Mason Barnes tossing the hat.
Bingo.
Sold. Yes.
To the moon. Ebanawi to the moon.
Amazing.
Oh no.
I
They
think
got rename like the impaler geckos or something. The spear point impaler geckos or something.
There you go. There you go.
Arrowhead. I don't know.
Right.
It's a little bit more edgy.
Yeah. Right. I think it's so. We start thinking about species from Madagascar and the variations in habitats on the island. I think a lot of people just think that it's just rainforest. Like, and it's always just warm and humid and stuff. And like, even like when we've talked with like our friends over at Fram's Cams and like how they've figured out the best ways to work with their panther chameleons and stuff, like there's a lot of other things to think about as far as range and stuff. So what have been some of the challenges that you've faced kind of creating those spaces for the geckos, and what's something that you found that was easier than you expected?
So I guess when getting into Europlatus, the obvious brother to this species would be all the Malagasy chameleons. I think like there's a lot to learn from the chameleon keepers just because they're keeping animals from the exact same range that we are. So you can learn a lot from their practices, and you can see all the screening closures that they use. And the reasoning behind that obviously is you're creating an environment that is conducive to being humid, but the surfaces shouldn't stay wet all the time. Like there's a difference between humid and wet, and I think that's something that people get confused a lot.
Yes.
Humid is
Florida.
good, wet, yeah, exactly. So that might be a mix of both from what I've.
It's a mix of both, all right.
It's a mix of a few other things too, but
yeah. So I guess just learning the importance of having good air quality, having good air circulation, especially for a species that hangs out in the open. So, like I guess drawing a line to other species, like I'll just take a crested gecko, for example, that might be inside of like a tree hollow for most of the day or crammed up into bark. They're not really like exposed to like a lot of like they're in like a relatively condensed area for a lot of the day. The Europlatus are like out in the open, like you're walking through the jungle. There's one. There's nothing stopping them. I guess there's nothing in between them and like just open air. So it's been on my mind that might be a line. There might be something there to putting a little bit more emphasis on having good air circulation. So that was something I really wanted to do. So that's kind of where I got the idea to do the tent, is just like do all screening closures. I didn't want to do foggers on every single enclosure because that would that would be a mess.
Yes.
Fogging is an excellent tool, but scaling it is extremely hard because you don't really have the ability to control how much air is pushing vapor in like specific cages. If you're going to do
For
like
each
one single fog,
individual
yeah, it's so incredibly difficult to engineer a system that evenly fogs enclosures. So you would need to have like a single fogger on every single enclosure or every other enclosure, have two perfectly even fog fittings
splits.
going into
Yeah.
splits. That's the only way you're gonna get close to doing that. So it's like, all right, it's scratching that idea off. But like, how do I keep humidity in with the screens? Because I don't live anywhere humid. Like I live in San Luis Obispo, so it gets relatively dry in the summer. So I was like, how am I gonna do this? So I came up with the idea to do the tent and just like greenhouse it. A lot of the grow tent people, you kind of rave on the parameters that they're able to keep for their animals. So I took a little bit of inspiration from those guys as well and kind of just translated it into just like a walk-in reptile room.
Hell yeah.
That doesn't get the landlord mad. Very important. I can collapse this down and it doesn't touch the walls, so the walls won't get black mold.
Right. There you go. I mean, but also, how could you get mad at those cute faces? Like, come on.
We had an inspection like a month ago, and it was like right before the holidays, and I was like so stressed out about that.
Yeah.
And it turned out they thought it was all cool, so that was a big weight off
Hell
my
yeah.
chest.
Yeah. Yep.
That the landlord saw it, because I put on my lease like, hey, I got geckos, but I didn't really specify a whole lot else extra. So
yeah.
Yeah, I told my landlord about my snake.
Geckos.
Yeah, how many? There are like a couple geckos. They're like thinking like
geckos plural.
30-gallon.
Relatively arbitrary.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh, my niece had 2 leopard geckos. It's probably something like that. You're like, oof. Then, right, as soon as you walk in for the inspection, you see a welcome to the jungle.
the speakers just trigger every time you open the door.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
It's like a motion activated.
That'd be hilarious.
Fog blows like Darth Vader.
Dude, that'd be perfect. That'd be so perfect. Oh man.
Yeah, my landlord, I told him about the snakes, and then like he saw it when I first like moved in and set stuff up, and then like a couple months later he texted me. He's like, he's got chicken coops, and he's like, there is a large snake in this chicken coop. Is it one of yours? And I was like, no, that is a black rat snake, but I will come get it though. And it had eaten like a half dozen eggs. So it wasn't even a big black rat. It was like maybe 3.5 foot long, so you could see every egg in it.
Dang, look great.
I was like, bro, what are you doing in here? This is a mistake.
Freaking amazing.
Yeah,
that's good.
Amazing. Oh man. So another hobby of yours, photography.
Yeah.
You get some amazing freaking images of your geckos and other animals. What was photography just like another passion that you had that you decided to just plug into the reptile world, or were you like, I just need to get really good pictures of these fucking geckos?
I think it was the second. I think I just really need to get good pictures of these fucking geckos. I think because that's what everybody. I don't know. When I was listening to all the Cresty Gecko podcasts, they're like, yeah, to sell these animals, you gotta have good photos. You gotta have good photos.
Yeah.
You don't got good photos, your stuff's gonna sit. So I was like, all right, I gotta get a camera and do all this other stuff and learn this. But it kind of opened the door to like turning into more of a hobby, not just a tool to sell animals. And I got really, it's something that I get like really excited to do, and it also kind of led the way to herping. It was like, now I can go out and photograph all these wild animals like in situ, and like that's been like a huge tickle for me too. And it's like such a nice break to get away from all the animals here, all the responsibilities and all that, when I can just go out and just enjoy whatever I see, kind of thing. So that's been, it's kind of all been connected. One leads to another.
True.
I'm here for that, man.
True.
Yeah. There was Rob, do you remember herping at Gatorland? And
Yes.
so when we took this trip down to Florida, and Rob's whole thing was I have to see Florida cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth.
That was that was his thing. I have to see
Yeah.
one.
On my
I have to
list.
see one. Yeah, and he's got a camera. Like, I mean, he's ready to go. He's like, I've got to friggin' find one. So I think we decided to split up. I think you went. I forgot who you went with. You went with Danny, and I went with Savannah or something.
Savannah, yeah.
Something like that. And we both veer off into the fork, and literally like 5 steps in, we found the the cottonmouth. They're like, Rob, come on. And just like he's like laying flat down
Hanging
on
over.
the pier just to get, because it was
It's a
just
bird
small
walk.
baby.
Yeah. Check.
It's a boardwalk going through the swamp, and I'm like laying down on the ground, hanging off the edge, trying to like make sure that the zoom is right and shit. I was like, I'm not missing this picture opportunity because it was curled up perfect.
Oh, in a nice little circle right
Yeah.
above the,
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
it was perfect. Yeah, it really was. It really
Oh,
was. But
yeah.
I was like, did you think we were gonna check this off the list that fast?
Immediately, like,
Yeah.
no,
It was
I
like,
did
"Oh,
not.
let's herp. You go that way, we'll go this way.
Yeah. No,
Oh, man.
Florida's great. I miss
Yeah.
I miss the humidity and all that. It was a good time. Animal Con was a good time.
Animal Con was a good time for sure.
Did
Yeah.
a little bit of herping, late night herping. I got a spadefoot toad while I was there. I was really happy about that.
Hey, those are always fun. Toads are fun.
Yeah. Toads are
Who
awesome.
doesn't love a good toad?
Every banded water snake and ribbon snake under the sun, but I think I like the toad the most. That's cool.
Yes. That's how you know you're herping in a place like Florida when it's like, the Nerodia, I could give
Eh,
two shits about that. That
The
toad
prettiest-
though, that was
Yeah.
cool.
the hotel in the rodeo was damn pretty though. There was like this one we got in the pond that was like, it was right by the restaurant.
Off to this,
off
yeah.
to the side, kind of halfway over there, and it's like maybe like a foot of water for the majority of it. And that thing was like bright bromeliad red and black. It was actually like, and it was like a large animal. It wasn't like a juvenile or like a baby that had just popped, and like it was like a good sized water snake, and it was like still had that red.
Hell yeah, dude.
So I was very happy about that.
That's cool.
Hell yeah. Benny wants to know your input on the FIMS, bruh.
Oh, I don't keep Fimbriatus. I really want to. I don't have the space for him. If I didn't keep Hankali, I would probably be keeping Fimbriatus. I chose Hankali only because they kind of come from the same area that Ebanawi do, so a little bit drier, a little bit warmer. Not that you want to keep them warm, but they're pretty hardy when it comes to temperature fluctuations and fitting in a lot of collections that way. Fimbriatus are really, really widespread though across Madagascar. So where they're so there are going to be populations that probably come from areas that are warmer, that are drier, that are probably easier to keep. It's impossible to know like which population you get in. And that's like the big thing with Fimbriatus is like you'll see a lot of people having trouble pairing animals up and finding compatible animals. And a lot of that is from how many different populations there are that that come from fairly relatively different areas. So they've all kind of gone their separate ways seemingly. It's not easy to combine those animals. That's what I've been told is kind of the case. But yeah, Fimbriatus were like the first to get described just because of how common they are out there, or how widespread that they are out there.
Right. That's interesting. I don't think I would have thought of animal compatibility based on the region. But yeah, if they're that widespread, I could definitely see that being a problem.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, like you can have success pairing animals, like, but it's just like hard to know where your animals come from and like, and then apply that to like, okay, like, I'm fairly confident these will, pair together. These will pair together. Like, you just don't know. It's like it's a random chance. So you really don't know what you're going to get.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely an added.
Captive bred animals, I'm sure you could pair together and have, very few problems that way. But when you're sourcing animals, wild caught and all that, if that's the route you choose to go, then yeah, I've heard of people having issues because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely interesting to think about. For sure. You're getting love in the chat for the gecko tent.
It works great. And the nice thing about screen enclosures too is how light they are. So I've played like Legos with the racks in here so many times, and it's been very nice to do it with just one person. I don't have to call my roommates in and bug them at 12 o'clock at night. when I got a stupid idea to move
Right.
a cage and see if I can
1
slot this
a.m.
other
the perfect
cage
time to move all the enclosures, right?
here.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I'm glad I'm not the only person that has those like late night strokes of genius where you're like, oh,
Yes.
if I move this all the way over here,
I
know
got
it's
one on
1
the way
a.m.,
home today, and I'm
but
really
yeah.
excited to implement it.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I used to drive my parents up the wall. We'd be like, "What the hell are you doing? It's midnight. Go to bed." And I'm like, "I just got to move this wall of cages. Hang on, just you go to bed. I'll be done."
Exactly.
So we are all living the same life. Is basically what you're telling me.
Yeah, I'm here for this. I'm here for this. You're not alone. Anybody
No.
listening that might be dealing with the same, you're not alone.
Yeah, gotta make room. I gotta make room for
Yes.
these babies, man. It's gonna be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, man. So I think we were talking the other day about some baby lineatus.
Yeah,
that
I
just hatched.
popped a couple another clutch of lineatus recently. I was so happy to see that they were females, which huge weight off my chest. Not to be stuck with
Hell
6
yeah.
males from one season. That
Yeah.
would be awful.
Hmm.
I'd have to do some
Heck yeah.
trades. But
Yeah, right.
so it seems like a lot of people have that same thing happen where they get like a lot of one sex. So it's never been, temperature sex determination's never really been documented in Europlatus before. So it's not like I feel like people are pretty confident that it's not the case, but it seems like at least with lineatus, a lot of people tend to get males that hatch out. Just from a couple of my buddies that have produced some, they've like, do you guys get males? Like, yeah, I got males. So, but yeah, my first 2 clutches were both males, and then my next clutch was a couple of females. So I was really excited about that. So, and then the first clutch was from a different pair. So I'm even more excited because now
cool.
I have I got some unrelated pairs unrelated stuff to work with now.
Heck yeah, dude. That's
That's
awesome.
sick.
So I didn't realize that you could sex them right out.
Yeah,
That's super
pretty
cool.
much across the for the most part across the board. There's little phenotypic differences. So like skin texture and pattern are kind of what you use. So I guess we'll just run down like what I keep and kind of how you would go about that. So Sakura hatch out. The males have a very different skin texture. It's almost like they have like these little bark like stripes going down their backs and like their necks especially. So you kind of look for like the structure of the skin and like the pattern too. Females tend to be like a lot more even textured. And then they just you look at enough and they kind of have a look is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
Ebanawi, the males are the ones that get super So if you see something hatch out and it's got all these spines on it, it's probably a male. They're also going to have hole punches out of their tails. So, females are going to have like completely intact tails, and then usually are pretty smooth. I've had like one that's had a little, a couple of little spikes kind of poking out, but nothing near what the males have. And then with the lineatus, you kind of look at just the pattern. So the males are going to be like almost like blotchy. They're going to have like this really more busy pattern. They're going to have spots and things like that. The females kind of hatch out and they're like extremely striped, like very uniformly striped. So kind of look at that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big fact for me tonight.
It's so nice for selling animals and like committing to cages and like committing to like future pairs and stuff. Like it is so nice to just like, okay, you hatched out. Like I'm fairly confident I'll know what you look like. I know what you are. It's like, okay, I can already kind of imagine I can pair this animal with this animal and like go through all this in my head like right when they hatch.
That's
really cool.
Super freaking cool. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
I got learned something. What? I'm definitely here for it. What's Benny's here in the chat? Can you keep Euros in screen enclosures or only because you have them in the tent?
You could do it in screen enclosures. I feel pretty confident. What I would say is you're going to want to block off a couple of the sides. I would say a full screen enclosure I probably wouldn't do, but a hybrid enclosure you absolutely could do. What I would, if you're just keeping a single enclosure, especially, the fogger is going to be your best friend. So like I wouldn't have that thing cooking during the day, but at night I would do like how the chameleon people do it. They'll do like a 4 to 6 hour fogging period, and just like allow that cloud of humid air to kind of circulate in that enclosure, they're going to breathe that in, rehydrate that way. They're going to drink water droplets off the leaves and stuff. So like I'd say if you supplement with like a nice nightly spray and then like a fogging period, you should have no problems there. And yeah, it's nice because the large scale enclosures. I know you're talking about Fimbriatus earlier, right? So the large scale enclosures you might need for that are going to be a lot more cost effective too, which will be very nice.
That's fair. Hell yeah, dude.
And I think it is important for your playtest to, like I was saying earlier, like the ability for not just the Ebonale, but like the Sakura and the Hankali too, to be able to just have those surfaces dry out during the day. You don't want them like sitting with their whole body just on like a damp surface. It just doesn't seem like, it just doesn't seem like something that's very conducive to like a very clean environment.
Yeah, especially when you get cold and wet, like that's that's when you're getting that breeding ground for bacteria and stuff. So yeah, I think that's been an interesting concept for those that are branching out into other species is like ventilation and actually getting good airflow through your enclosures and how to mitigate some of those situations, because we're so used to just putting it in a PVC box or a glass tank, and like it just holds everything in. So when you have to start using your brain for other things.
I know, I'm learning that firsthand right now. I've been on a snake kick these last couple of months. So I've picked up some snake-like things and dealing with all the PVC cages and all that. I'm doing what people tell me for now. So
all right, we got to know now what snake things.
No, yeah. So I've always been like a huge like Aussie python nut. So I recently picked up a pair of womas. So I've got those now.
Hell yeah, dude.
I had a woma when I was younger too. It was like a rescue from the store. Some crackhead dropped it off literally on the freaking porch. Thing's back looked like that. It was awful.
Oh damn.
And it was really scraggly male. So I took that thing home and nursed it back to health and had that thing for a while. And I just remember how active those snakes were, how like colubrid like they were, and I really really like an active snake like that. Also like the enclosures that you could probably do for a woma would be really fun. You give them like the little sandbox and see them dig and all that. So that's just I'm really into like all the different behaviors and stuff that the womas have their quirks. So that was when I was like I had circles. Like if I get back into snakes, I definitely need to pick some womas up. So I got an adult pair right now, an adult female, and then I got one of Lucas Lee's old retired boys. Hopefully get the job done eventually.
Heck yeah, man.
So I'm really excited about that. Recently picked up my first diamond python, so I'm so stoked about that.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, little female. I named her Magpie. I feel like it's pretty fitting.
Yep. That's good.
I watched fed her last night, took it, no problem. So it's a young animal, only like 6-7 months, I'm pretty sure. But that one's from Brandon Wheeler.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm really freaking stoked about that. Got a pair of rhino rats. Love those things. I got them in big old enclosures, and those are super fun to watch. And then on the Malagasy, on the subject of Malagasy stuff, I got a pair of cat-eyed snakes. Those are
cool.
They're so cool.
Heck yeah, dude.
I freaking love the cat-eyed snakes. I gotta get a couple more of those things.
Hell yeah. I'm here for it, dude.
You're like, I'm dipping my toe into the snakes, and then you're like, I got like 8 species, no big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't even mention the freaking Kankakee bull that my buddy brought back from Pomona for me. For
Bruh.
whatever fucking reason.
Dang.
So I have that thing full of piss and vinegar in my room right now. thing is awful. It's awful. It's horrendous.
You mean fun?
Fun. My girlfriend. So I got her a rainbow boa, and we've been working with it. She's not a snake person, but like she really wanted it, either a ball python or a rainbow boa. So the choice was obvious. But she's not. I felt like the steps to once she comes on the once she's on the back end of being confident holding this thing, then it'll be all smooth sailing. So we're working with that thing. We're making some progress, and I'm like, "Hey, baby, pull that bin down there." She pulls it open. Thing is roaring. I lost a lot of progress that night, but it was worth it.
Ooh, it was worth it. It's ridiculous. I remember when I had Mark helping me clean snakes, he would go to a bin and be like, that one's going to strike at me. I'm not even going to open that. That's not even and I'm like, no, that's not real. And I didn't notice that he was looking at the carpet python enclosures. So when I go to open them up, of course, they're like, wah! And I'm like, oh, yeah. And he's like, see, I knew. And I was like, well, you're not wrong. Okay, you're not wrong.
Bro.
Yeah.
My thing. Oh no, you can go.
Sorry, go ahead. There you go.
I say my thing is that like bull snakes is like maximum noise, but probably not too much follow through. Where the Brazilian rainbow boas and rainbow boas in general, no noise, but they've got the teeth and they are not afraid to use them. So it's like, which one you got to pick your poison, because you think everything's cool with the rainbow boa, and then all of a sudden, it's on your bones. And the bull snakes and the Pituophis stuff is like, you picked me up. Damn. Shit. I thought that was really going to scare you away. That did not work at all.
I think I might have the exception on the bull snake, because that thing still goes after my nose when I have it in my hand.
Really?
Little extra fun. It's small.
That's fun.
So I feel like I've heard that be like a thing with young bull snakes, especially. But the rainbow was absolutely like that for like the first 2 months. Scared the ever living shit out of her once because like I'd be right next to her while she was holding it, and it'd start going after me, and she's just like petrified with this thing that's just like shooting off blanks over here. And but now we've kind of gotten it to a point where like I haven't really been struck at or given a dirty look in like 4 or 5 months. So I think we might be on the tail end of all that. Okay. But the damage is done. Right. She's a little wary of that thing now.
Yeah.
Damage.
So it's going to be a long road to get back, but I'm confident we can do it.
All you got to do is just take it out in the sunlight like 2 or 3 times. Let her see it in the sun with the iridescent. She'll be like, okay, I like this thing again.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
It'll do that time to time. It's definitely redeeming.
Yes.
Because ball python was on her list, so I feel pretty good once we get that thing in the sun. I'm like, yeah, we made the right choice here.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Because you would have had, if you got a ball python, you would have gotten a pretty baby that you would have been sad about in 6 to 8 months after it started to brown out and color.
Listen, man, you can get pieballs for really cheap, and they stay looking good their whole lives.
Oh yeah,
so
that's fair. That's fair.
I'm not knocking ball pythons. But I have.
Oh, well, then get off the podcast. Get off. We got.
Yeah, the pyramid scheme. You guys see that? Yeah. You guys see that reel? That was crazy. that Theo Von reel was crazy.
Thanks, Theo. You had Barchek on, who was a founder of the pyramid scheme. Oh man, that's hilarious.
That was
we
funny.
love the ball python.
No, I just felt like the enclosure I could do with the rainbow would be really fun to attempt.
Yeah.
If I did like zoopoxied root wall or something, and like that's like an environment I'd be like really excited to try and recreate one day once it gets large.
Yeah. You mean termite mounds aren't exciting?
Oh, they are. No, yeah. I just want to see the thing come out of them eventually.
Yeah, I mean, that's well, you know how you do that. You just have to flood it from time to time.
Flood it, and then you'll have your arboreal ball pythons.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, in the trees. I've heard something similar happens with the Sanzinia. I think I heard a podcast about that, right? Where they're like predominantly found on the ground, and then
yes,
during the rainy season they kind of venture up to kind of avoid all that, all that water.
Yep,
interesting.
It's fun that we get sold tree boas that never sit in the freaking trees.
I held Lucas's when I visited his place, and that was like a pretty life-changing moment. I was like, okay, snakes might be on these might be added to the list one day. Yeah. It just sucks because I keep a bunch of Malagasy stuff, so I'm like, well, fuck, damn, I'm stuck with having to get this $1,000 snake.
That's the only downside to those, honestly.
Why can't inexpensive snakes come from Madagascar from time to time?
I mean, you can get some Madagascan hognose snakes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, those are a little much for me right now.
Come on, man.
I
Those
like them,
giant
man.
hognoses
They're
are
like the
awesome.
Yeah.
Madagascan Pituophis.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And you can get captive bred ones. I
Yeah.
think Owen's still
Yes.
breeding them. So
That is true. This is true.
yep. So now we'll have you back on the podcast in 6 months, and we need a new snake tally.
Oh God.
That's-
Yeah,
I'll
that is
call-
the natural course. It's
Yes.
literally the natural course of things. If you
Well,
name your
it's so
business after one specific kind of thing, eventually you're going to phase those things out, and you'll be like, "Why are you called Geckota? You only work with snakes."
Well, they're so addicting because it's like the time investment for each animal, is like compared to the geckos, it's so much less.
Yes.
I'm not like trying to go crazy, but it's like nice having like this other little side hobby that I like can just like forget about all like the daily routines and all that with. I can just
Yes.
Yeah.
I can just look at you and not have to even open this today.
Yeah.
It has its redeeming qualities for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like I have the other stuff that's more active, so I don't need it to be moving all the time. But it's fun to interact with.
It's all about balance.
Yeah,
It is about balance. Yes.
truly.
Absolutely. I'm so here for it, dude. I'm so here for it. That's
I was
funny.
so bummed not to be at Pomona this past the damn fires.
Oh, this past one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel.
miss
I really want to
Pet
get out to check out that show.
Rob,
Pet
you should
fair.
come in June.
Pet
Yeah,
fair
you
is
should
gonna
come in June.
rock. Pet fair.
There's one in June.
There's one in June, the LA Pet
Fair's-
Fair. So it's like huge.
That's the one. That's
There's-
the one.
It's huge.
It's
There's
the one
all,
to go
like,
to?
Fish
It's the one to go to.
vendors and like all this stuff. It gets
But
wild.
it doesn't take away from the reptiles though. They have their own Pomona sized building, like
Yes.
large reptile show sized building. They just also have like a little fish building out to the side. But the traffic
that's
in there is
cool.
insane.
Yeah, I was gonna say
The
I
vibe is
would have to
super
check out
high.
all of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. June is the one. It's yes. Just yes.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, we're doing a reptile talk trip to Pomona.
I'm already gonna be there. So you just
Okay.
you just gotta show up, bro.
Done.
Yeah.
I'm working that one. So yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
we
bro.
might need to make this happen.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm so here for it, dude. So here.
I already
for
took
it.
off my time for Daytona, so
Oh, boom! It's gonna be great. It's gonna
I
be
gotta
great.
make it out to Daytona next year. I honestly have
Yes.
that more on my like bucket list than Tinley at this point. I feel like I
It
like,
is-
really don't want to spend a lot of money on new projects. So like I don't really want to deal with the stress of Tinley. But I like really just want to go hang at Daytona for a week.
yeah. If you like your playlists and geckos and shit, Tinley is a dangerous fucking place to be.
It's dangerous, man.
There's so many cool things there.
Are you guys going to the March one?
I will be.
I don't
I'll
think
be
I-
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Working that one.
Yeah. I haven't been to a big show since like late summer, so I'm kind of like fiending. So
Oh yeah.
I don't think I haven't gotten the time off, and I don't think I'm gonna go. But I'm like, man, I really like to.
You're like, maybe I could.
Maybe
Yeah, I could do
That's
that.
a little sweet treat.
Great. Yeah. Hell yeah. No, it's gonna
What's
be a
this?
blast.
2
though.
plane tickets?
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Where did these come from?
Yeah. Oh,
Treat
that's
yourself.
amazing. Yeah, treat yourself. I'm here for it though. I'm
Hell
here for
yeah.
it. But yeah, Rob, super show. You'll lose your freaking mind. Like
Probably.
guaranteed. No, not probably. You will. I'm telling you. Just the reptiles, of course, but also some of the people that are there that just never come to the East Coast or the Midwest.
Mhm.
Like, you'd also lose your shit.
Here,
For sure.
I'll plant this seed too. The last Pomona, the last pet fair, the pet fair last year, the Timberline guys got me like really, really hammered. And then my other buddies picked me up. We drove out to Palm Springs and I found my first speckled rattlesnake.
Oh my god!
And
Hey, and
it
he
was
still
a
remembers
terrible
it.
experience.
He still remembers it.
And I still remember it. Only because it was like an hour drive, so I had time to sleep. But
Amazing.
but it's
Bruh.
right there in prime season. It was like maybe like
That is
52
prime
on
herping
RP,
season.
So it was like kind of sketch, but like it was cool. It was
Hell
really
yeah.
nice orange spec.
Hell yeah. It doesn't take much to get Rob out to go see reptiles. So
Yeah,
I think
there's
a
a lot of
3,000
cool
mile
stuff.
trip for a really cool reptile show, and then the potential for herping.
Herping.
It's there.
You said the magic word, and that's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You leave the auction the second the USARK auction ends. You just hop in the car with some buddies and just drive out to Palm Springs, and yeah, you'll have a hell of a night.
okay. Now, okay. Twist my arm.
Yep.
I've
It'll be
literally
great.
I've had that show on my list of things that I want to do, and then herping Southeast Arizona, and I don't know. I really want to make it happen this year, but I've already done book Daytona, and so Southeast Arizona, Pomona. If you're already going to be at Pomona, it's like, dude, I might as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah, bro. Just don't even think about it. Just do it.
All the pieces are falling into place.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh gosh, I just looked at the chat.
Oh
Benny
no,
said,
I don't need for that.
Rob, you got to go so Benny can meet you, and then you can ride his wheelchair and you go to the Super Show.
Boss.
Dude. Yes.
I would have to wear the Vanna White dress to do it. So
the Vanna White dress.
Yeah, sit on his lap.
You just show up in the Borat mankini, and it's good. It's all
That's
good to go.
specifically for Daytona, okay? Daytona's on a beach. There's an excuse to wear it there.
I mean, if you're going to Palm Springs, I mean, come on. What better way to introduce yourself to California?
Dude, I brought it with me when I went herping in Utah, and I really wanted to. I was hoping we were going to find like a big rattlesnake, like a good sized rattlesnake, or like some Gila monsters, and I wanted to get a picture with like the animal in the foreground and then me in the background with the like straps and everything. I thought that would make a really funny picture, like really great for profile picture.
I'm just saying, there's never a wrong time to execute a good idea. That's
Can always prepare. Doesn't hurt.
I already have the monokini, so
it's true. It's true.
Be honored to photograph it.
Oh yes, HD.
The pieces are falling into place, ladies and gentlemen.
Freaking D.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be amazing.
Bruh.
If it doesn't happen now, I'm gonna be really sad. That's all I'm
Listen,
saying.
I got the thing. We just have to find the snakes. That's all it's to it.
That's fair. I think we'll find the snakes.
Yeah, we'll find
I think
snakes.
we'll find the snakes. And if not, we can find a rubber snake to put in the foreground of the image so that you can be in the background.
And if you're really lucky, you'll get a real snake. I'll dangle that carrot too.
It's true.
Bruh.
Man. So, Jack, of
I
all the
wonder if
places.
Dan Malari's going to be there.
Wait, say it again, Rob.
I was wondering if Dan Malari's going to be there. He's like at some of them, I think.
Oh yeah,
He was there
true.
last time. Yeah.
He was there last time. Yeah.
Yeah. He brought a bunch of mock vipers. That was really cool.
Like pseudogenodon?
Yeah. That was the first time I've ever seen him in person. I was just staring at those things for hours. I was like, wow.
I've never seen those in person, and I would really like to. Also, I'd like to meet Dan too. But
Yeah.
man, pseudogenodon is cool as hell.
Hell yeah, dude. It's no tears, Rob. Just do it. You just gotta gotta make it happen. It's fine. It's fine. Oh man. So Jack, of all the places that you've been out herping, what's been the favorite?
I've been okay, so I'm a super herp noob. I've only been like trying to like put my like mind to it and like dedicate like time to do it for like the last year. So like my sample size is limited, but like I'd say our most successful trip was a weekend we spent in 29 Palms, which is like I don't know, maybe like half an hour away from Palm Springs. We hit like this one trail at like maybe like 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning. And we like checked up just about every lizard species that you could get in in Joshua Tree. Like it was insane.
Cool,
we got chucks, desert iguanas, a bunch of different squaloporous species, collared lizards. That was awesome. We only saw it. We saw a Great Basin gopher that trip too. Snakes. It was a bit warm. It was like late summer, so it was really cooking out there. So like the snakes, I don't think were in like full force. But the lizards. And we got a banded gecko too. So that was just like another cherry.
Cool.
It was like an hour before we called it. Like we're all just like wandering the desert in like a haze. We didn't even bring headlights. That's how how big of noobs we were. We're going around with freaking phone lights at night. Only one of us brought a headlamp. Only one of us brought a freaking headlamp. So like it also couldn't have been like, okay, maybe the snakes wore out and we just didn't see them. So just because we were going around with phone lights. So that's probably on us.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, that was a fun trip. Recently, trying to think. Oh yeah, this is like 3 days ago, maybe 4 or 5 days ago. We got like the first rain of the year. And like the bucket list for this year was a tiger salamander, a California tiger salamander. So I think the closest place to us is maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours north. And so I had like this, it was like the weekend, and I was supposed to hang out with my girlfriend for the night, right? I'm checking the weather. It's rain starting to come down. I'm just checking the weather. I'm like, there's a cloud front that's going over Pinnacles National Park around 3 a.m. I wonder. So I just like shoot like a feeler out at my buddy that I always go herping with. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this rain forecast that's gonna hit Pinnacles? Like, think it could be salamandery? And he's like, I just started planted. I take full responsibility for planting the seed, which bit me in the butt. Because I had a podcast the next day to do. I had to do I was on the Gecko Exchange podcast the next day, so I was like, I gotta be sharp. And ultimately, we made the decision to get out there. I got like 2 hours of sleep that night. I slept until like 1:30. I got picked up. We drove like an hour and a half. Road cruised for like 3 hours. Didn't catch nothing but like a couple of toads on the road, just random western toads. And then we're coming back. We drive into Pinnacles National Park, the east entrance. Rain's coming down, a good bit. And then we finally see a salamander. It's like this, literally probably like the largest arboreal salamander I've ever seen. It was like maybe like for like with tail, it was like maybe all of like 9-10 inches. Like it was I might be overstating, but like it was a monster arboreal. There's pictures of it on my hand, so you can kind of get a scale that way. But it was gorgeous. It had like these super large yellow spots. It was not like the ones we get around here that are kind of usually just a little more drab, tinier spots, that kind of thing. And this thing was just covered in like, it looked like a spotted turtle. Like that's how big the spots were.
Damn, that's crazy.
It was cool. Nice. It had the big old jowls and stuff. It was just like a great example. So we're really happy about that. You're like, okay, the trip was worth it for this one. And we're coming back all like, we came back. We started driving back like all like we were satisfied. Like we weren't super hyped, but like we were satisfied. Like, all right, we didn't waste
it wasn't a ride of shame.
It wasn't a ride of shame. It wasn't a ride of shame. No. Vibes were good. And then we're driving. I'm like kind of nodding off. I'm like, finally I get to sleep. And all of a sudden I hear my friend like start, and he saw something. And then like I feel the car slow down. I'm like, do you see anything? And he's like, I'm like, what's going on? I thought that was because I was like half asleep, so I kind of saw like what I thought was a tuft of grass kind of fly by, and it looked like it went under one of the wheels. So he slows the car down, pulls the Yui. It's just like staying very, very quiet. I like look over at him. He's just like, he looks so dejected. I'm like, start to put the pieces together. We drive up next to the thing. He leans out the window. And was like, oh no, dude! And it's a tiger salamander. And then like. And then 2 seconds go by, and then he goes, "It's fucking alive!" We had missed it. He had missed it by mere inches, and it's like this.
My
shit! Maybe 5-inch long California tiger salamander. So it's like maybe like 5:30 in the morning. We're so like tired. We're so out of it. Like, and
Yeah.
we're just hooting. It completely revived us. We're hooting and hollering. We're jumping around in circles, completely soaking wet because it's raining, and it's like and we haven't been herping in a while because it hasn't been raining and it's cold as shit. So like, there's none of the snakes are out or anything like that. So it was just like a very nice way to start the year.
Hell yeah, dude.
That is fucking lit. That
was
is awesome.
I feel like he was just telling me, he was like, man, I'm just so happy I didn't kill it.
Yeah, right, though. Right.
Because that thing was like maybe like a foot off the center divider. So like it was in like that prime driver's side wheel area, you know?
Sheesh.
Ugh.
Turned to a pancake, but thankfully we got that thing off the road safely, and that was awesome.
That's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I'm here for it.
It tested
I'm
us.
so freaking here for it. Yeah,
It was
right.
4
no.
hours of nothing and like 40 degrees and raining and cold and wet. And then
Oof.
It'd be like that sometimes.
yeah, do what you got to do. That's kind of what I'm learning.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. When I found
I
that
feel like
fucking
Rob
queen snake
can
a couple
attest
weeks
to that.
ago, bro, that's
Nice.
it was like, I don't know, 45 degrees outside, and it was starting to get windy and shit. And I was like, I walked like, I don't know, 2 or 3 miles out, and then 2 or 3 miles back, and
Yeah.
I'm like just about to get back into the car. Like, I'm just getting back to the parking lot, and I'm like, man, usually in this one section, I see something, and I'm walking along, and I'm like, man, I can't believe that I'm going to leave here and not find anything. And then I look down at the edge of this rock cliff, and it's just hanging out over the water, and I was like, finally, oh my God, I'm freezing, my phone's almost dead. I'm like, it was worth it, you know?
Yeah. That's the same exact feeling. It was just delayed gratification.
Yes.
We had to prove
exactly.
we were good mentally.
Worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to prove we were worthy. Exactly. It's exactly how it felt.
That's funny. That's freaking funny.
That's awesome.
I'm here for it, though. The woes of us lowly herpers.
Oh, man. Yeah, I really gotta get. I think I really gotta get out to Arizona this year too. That's high on my list to do.
Yes.
The Tucson area probably is where I'd go from the little research I've done so far.
Mhm.
New Mexico. I've like seen videos of the stuff you can get in New Mexico. Like I really want to find a blacktail. I think that'd be like, for some reason
Dude,
I really like
Colossus
blacktails.
are the best.
They're cool.
The true superior.
I really like those things. I'd probably lose my mind if I found one of those.
Same. I like the ones that are like southeast, like real southeast Arizona, where they're like yellow and black. Those things, like,
yeah. The more green, yellow color, kind of base color you get, the better on those things. And the heads, I just love the contrast. Such a cool snake.
yes, that's like top 2 rattlesnakes for me. Those, and then the Willard Eye are like, can't beat it. Can't beat it.
Absolutely. Definitely agree.
Hell yeah. Uh-oh. The timer
The
has
lights
gone
went
off.
So let me see if I can get it back. It's not bedtime yet.
That's awesome.
Like,
well, man,
I don't know.
Right. As we've passed our hour mark, but that's totally cool because the conversation and vibes have been good, man. But as we round this out and wrap it up, man, we ask all of our guests one final question. So that question is, what in the realm of reptiles, be it something you've got at your own place, something you've seen online, or maybe out herping, what in the realm of reptiles has you excited about reptiles right now?
Oh boy. Oh, that's a tough one on the spot, man. Oh man.
That's why we do it.
That's why I do it. You just love like these 5-minute periods of awkward silence. Oh man.
It's okay. I overdubbed like the Jeopardy theme, and we haven't gotten caught yet. So
Okay. So that's what that's what the audience is hearing right now. It's just overlaid. Okay. Gosh, that's such a tough one. Maybe I'll try and think of like a herp. I don't know. Can I just say like a species like I really want to find like in the year?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Or
Yes,
something along those lines?
absolutely.
Oh man. Okay. So this might not be this year, but I think in the next 2 years, I like have to get out to Madagascar. I think I am putting like half of everything I make off selling reptiles for like the foreseeable future to just a Madagascar trip just to get out there.
Hell yeah.
That's like big on my brain right now to do. As far as like in the States, herping trips, I think Southeast Arizona has me. I definitely got to get out there. Just because like there's so many iconic spots that I didn't get the chance to hit last year. That are, while I have the time, I need to go out and do that.
Hell yeah.
As far as targets to go, I think the rattlesnakes obviously. But yeah, there's like, what are those like? What are those shovel? They look like little shovel nose snakes.
Oh yeah,
like a tan snake with little orange bands.
Mhm.
I keep forgetting the name. They're like little
Like a
insect
coral
snakes.
snake mimic.
Kind of. They're
Leaf
insectivorous.
nose snakes,
Yeah, something like that.
ground snakes.
I'm probably blanking on the name. Like somebody's gonna shoot me a message after this and call me an idiot, but it's fine. I really want to find one of those, and that might be part of the Palm Springs or part of the Pomona trip is looking for those.
Hell yeah, dude.
If you look up California native snakes, and it's the small guys, like it's maybe like a foot long snake with these little black and orange bands. And it's like a tan snake with like a shovel nose. I need to find. I can't believe I'm blanking on the name right now, but I need to find some of those.
Is it patch nose?
No, not a patch nose.
No, patch nose are like a light tan color. I'm pretty sure it's a leaf nose snake, or it's a leaf nose or
I don't know.
I think it's leaf nose.
Let's see.
Nothing right now.
Leaf nose snake.
U.S. because there is a Madagascar.
US. There is the Madagascar one. Yeah, that's what popped up.
My buddy Nick Vine just grabbed some.
Kind of with the big
Kyanactus. These things.
Oh yeah, that's not what I had. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I really want to find some of those because my coworker found one when we were in when we were down for Pomona, but he wasn't in the same car, so I really need to go out. As far as like a California native, I need to find some of those.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
I'm here for that. I'm here for it.
Hell yeah.
Well, I hope that you hit some of those target species this year, and it has been awesome to have you on, man. I really appreciate you coming on. It's been fun chatting. If people want to follow you and see the stuff that you're working with and maybe see some of your photography, where should they follow you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I post all the gecko stuff on my like main Instagram at Gekkotaculture. So GEKKOTA and then culture. And then I post like a lot of like my herping photos and stuff on the other one, which is Jack in the Woods, which is like it's like one word, but then the is spelled out THA instead of the. So just at Jack in the Woods.
So hip, bro.
Yeah. I had to be. Yeah, I know. I switched it up a little bit. I can't bind myself to one species anymore. I must be free.
See,
yeah, it's 100%.
I put myself
100%.
Can't time out.
It's okay, man. That's why I always tell people who ever name their businesses like blah 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 reptiles or blah 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 exotics. I'm like, you did it right, guys.
Yeah,
you did it right.
It's a balance between like being like making your name like forgettable and then like being too specific. It's a balance for sure.
100%, dude. 100%. But hell yeah, dude. Thank you again for hanging with us and chatting. I know people in the chat have been loving it. So, dude, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yes, sir.